I mean, have you told Jessica? Have you given Jessica your 2 weeks
week
notice?
Absolutely, man.
Week 0 is here.
Hey, the ACC owns week 0. That's all I gotta tell you.
Oh, by the way,
stuff.
My brother is mad. My brother is upset because our Big 12 game of the week, our Matt Davis 12 game of the week, is not UCF, which he's going to apparently.
Oh, well, you tell him as long as there's an OG hat there, then that's the Matt Davis 12 game of the week.
Actually, I don't think I sent him a hat yet. I gotta send him a hat.
Okay,
we'll do that. All right, Brinson, you ready, bro?
Are we live?
Yeah, we're technically live. But...
Sick.
All right, man, let's do this.
No hipster pre-show show.
Just don't touch the mic, Brinson.
Let's podcast live. It is a Sleek Fleet OG Live brought to you by our friends at Sleek Fleet. Check them out, sleek-fleet.com. Maybe we should have gotten Will Brinson, CBS Sports, the Sleek Fleet treatment to get up here. You're talking like parking validation on Fayetteville Street. Like, buddy, no, it don't work that way.
I just wanted a $3 parking validation and a cup of coffee. I don't think I drove 45 minutes to North Hills to get down here. I mean,
45.
I'm just kidding. It really feels like that these days. Like you're trying to get through North Hills at any time that isn't like 10, 12 a.m.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Pretty excited though. This is, I mean, I don't know that I'm like any slimmer than I was the last time I was here live, but we had just gone to Longleaf Swine.
Yes.
And me and Chip came in here it was like a Friday afternoon. And like, I think I was just like, had the meat sweats.
Well,
and then the last time I did a live show with y'all was at Rialto. And look,
don't touch the mic.
I didn't know that I was slamming. I was like, slapping the mic. But I don't want validation. I'm fine.
I got you. 325.
It's at Brinson Will. If anybody wants to.
Send Brinson some money. I might as well do that. Nah, man, look. The last time you were in the studio, we had all gone to Longleaf Swine. You were recovering from the night before.
That's saddest right. Venmo.
That is really the saddest Venmo. $3.25. And then we had also
I'm not going to get into the specifics of what you might be Venmoing for, but there are sadder Venmos.
Fair point.
The number might be sad. Trust me, I've said sadder Venmos.
No, but we did
start a Sleep Fleet live with Brinson.
We did a little hair of the dog. We did a little hair of the dog last time.
Yeah, I can't remember what we did.
Pickleback shots, all that stuff. Yeah. And then we came up here and then we recorded. That's what ended up happening.
Yeah, that's right. But very excited to do
a sober edition.
Yeah, my first. Actually, I guess technically it's my first.
It is your first
because you guys, when you were on the radio, had a draft. And when there's some draft, I went with Adam when you guys started.
When we did the split.
Right. So I did know the show, but I don't think I ever did it in person because it was we had COVID and all kinds of
all sorts
things.
of reasons to go.
So my first sober appearance in studio with you guys on this podcast.
First time for everything, man. Now, I feel like
as far as you know,
I feel like we should be drinking when we talk about the Carolina Panthers at this point. But hey, good news. They made a trade for Michael Jordan.
They also cut Lamar Jackson.
I saw that. How could they cut Lamar? Oh, wait. That reminds me when Carolina Cobras were in town.
Coach K resigns.
Was it fired? Doug K, right? Yeah. That was the guy's name? Head coach's name was Doug K. Yeah. And I remember going on, Chris Clark went on 850 The Buzz to do an update. And he just goes, Coach K has been fired and just left it there. And people freaked.
A lot of
Lamar Jackson got cut by the Panthers. What? That's on the level of the Kobe Bryant and the Hornets, man.
Well, so like Tom Pelissero, I think, tweeted it like that. He said Lamar Jackson has been released.
Oh, jeez.
And then like break by the Panthers, the second year cornerback or whatever. Like I think Josina Anderson had one where she nailed shout out to ECU.
Yeah.
And all those Pirates, Linville Joseph being signed by the Cowboys. She goes, breaking in all caps, : the Cowboys have signed. It's like CD Lamb time. Oh no, Linville Joseph. Who's a great player, fun player, but I
you know what I'm saying? It's
like it's a
I just did a radio hit with WFNZ out of Charlotte with Wes and Walker. And they were like, okay, enough NC State football talk. What do you think about the Panthers going on right now? I'm like, I think y'all are obsessing a little too much about preseason action.
Yeah.
Which I guess when you're coming off a 2-15 season, you're looking for any signs that things are going in the right direction. When everybody's and I know Lauren Brownlow and Dimitri talked about this on This Team Is Killing Us, the Panthers podcast. We're doing the thing again already.
I hate the mic.
Can't take you anywhere, dude. So we're doing the thing again to Bryce Young, where last year it was obsessing over CJ Stroud and his performance with the Texans, as if the Texans weren't completely different than the Frank Reich circus.
Sure.
We're doing it now with Caleb Williams because of the Bears trade and the Carolina Panthers. And they're like, look at what's going on over there. And I think people are just looking for some level of validation with Bryce Young. Folks, it ain't going to come from the preseason, number one. Yeah. Number two, it's not going to come in the form of a battered offensive line.
Right.
That you got to get to the season healthy. Don't put them in a bad position just to placate, I don't know, Scott Fowler's column in the Charlotte Observer about why would I go to a preseason game.
Shout out Scott Fowler.
I love Scott Fowler.
Scott Fowler's great. Yeah, he's fantastic. I think two things, and I don't know that these are necessarily true, but I think that they can partially influence the decision making behind the Panthers process for not playing anybody throughout the entire preseason.
Yeah.
One, your roster is really thin. Like the Panthers have the upside. And when I say upside, you really need to understand that. And we'll talk about win totals in a minute, but like, Eagles fans are furious at me because I had them going 9-8. Like, this is impossible. It's like, no, this is the NFL. That is very possible.
Also, you've been paying attention to Nick Sirianni?
Right.
And everything going on behind the scenes?
But the difference between a 9-8 team and an 11-6 team is really just two bounces of the football in a weird way.
Yeah.
In a very small sample size season. So the Panthers, when I say this, I'm not saying that I think the Panthers will win 8 games, but I think the Panthers do have the upside of an 8-win team if everything breaks their way. Now, the problem is when you talk about this roster and you talk about this team, I'm on the clock in fantasy. Sorry about that.
Are you running a fantasy football thing right now?
Yeah, it's for St. Jude Charity, so it's actually not a bad thing. We raised $33,000 for St. Jude Charity, and I'm the commissioner of this league. Sorry. I didn't mute my computer. I showed up on time. What do you want from me? I think that
that was the most Brinson thing in the history.
I was like, do I need it? It's
Brinson.
It's a 4-hour clock.
I was going to say, you vamp for a little bit. You go to make this even more Brinson. You just sit. You're good. You're good.
Yeah, I'm good to go anywhere. The point being is that the variance here is pretty wide for any NFL team. The variance becomes even wider. Thanks, Joe. I'll take one. When you factor in just how thin the Panthers' entire roster really is. You traded away Brian Burns. You traded DJ Moore. You lost multiple picks in the DJ Moore trade, which could have become additional assets that would make your roster better.
Yeah.
Right. So you have, if anybody gets hurt in the preseason,
careful, that one exploded the other day.
That's why I'm doing very, very.
If anybody gets hurt in the preseason, you're in deep trouble, right? Jonathan Brooks is already on PUP. Bryce Young got battered last preseason. And then I think there's also the factor of, do you want to try and build confidence for this young quarterback in the preseason? Yes, of course. Is it confidence building if he goes out there and just gets blitzed again by the Jets, which he did last? And I think when you look at what this Panthers team is going to be, they're going to run the football a ton. Dave Canales is getting way too much steam and hype, and look what he did with Gino. Look what he did with Baker. He's the quarterback. Like, he might be a good coach.
Oh, you think there's too much on him right now?
Way too much.
Really?
Way too much. And a lot of people around the league think that too.
Interesting.
Yeah. But
well, I mean, you got to remember. Okay, look, you got to remember. I know, Joe, you were in the YouTube chats. Somebody, I think it was Davis, had asked a question about David Tepper, and you were like, David Tepper probably is on his best behavior. You got to remember that when it comes to who's going to be the next coach of the Carolina Panthers, I mean, only so many people were actually going to say yes. Yeah. So you have to put that in the context of Dave Canales. But so far, what I've seen on Dave Canales is at least the guy is explaining his process. Frank Reich, I didn't know what his process was other than I want to call the plays. And Matt Rule was a joke.
Well,
at least Canales is giving me like, okay, you're explaining your work, as I like to say.
Well, fair point. I think what we are seeing, and I could be dead wrong about this, but I think what we're seeing is the Jimmy Haslamification of David Tepper.
I see.
Both guys, former minority owners of the Pittsburgh Steelers. They were. Jimmy Haslam got hired by the Browns in like 2011, and I remember his press conference. I wrote about it. Because he gets up there and he's from Knoxville. He goes, I am fired up to the max to own this football team. And everybody's like, oh, he's a former Steelers owner. He's going to know how to let the football guys do football stuff.
But then he talked to a homeless guy.
Right. 2 years later, he's letting a homeless guy dictate his first round draft decisions. Like that literally happened.
True story. Google it.
Paul DePodesta ran an analytics process and determined who was the best quarterback. And Jimmy has him strolling through Cleveland and sees a homeless guy. He's like, you got to get Johnny football. And so they do it. Well, that's sort of what David Tepper did to start his tenure with the Panthers.
Yeah.
And now I think you are seeing, I mean, knock on wood if you're a Panthers fan, David Tepper taking his hands off of this team. Part of that is through Dave Canales. And this has nothing to do with whether Dave Canales is a good coach, but the fact that Dave Canales, who worked with Dan Morgan in Seattle, was hired, that Dan Morgan, the GM, was allowed to hire his own guy and bring him in his own guy, even though you're correct, there's a limited pool of candidates.
Yeah.
Speaks to maybe David Tepper having his hands off a little bit. And even just David Tepper not being in the kitchen, jamming his little billionaire fingers into the dough every day is going to make a difference for this football team.
Taking hats off. Did you want a beer, by the way?
I have one.
Are you still drinking that?
I got my peach still.
Just that you suggested that he didn't have one.
Well, no, I just didn't know he was done.
He didn't offer me one.
I just didn't know.
I wanted coffee.
Coffee or beer? Who says no?
It's a great combo.
Who says no? From Paul on the YouTube comments, Canales has not yet embarrassed me as a Panthers fan. Low bar to be cleared, but I will take it.
He continues to run Jack Plummer out there in the preseason.
Yes, that's true too.
Am I qualified?
But just to be clear on the Frank Reich thing too, Frank Reich's staff was not Frank Reich's staff.
Yeah.
It was a staff assembled by various people in the organization who believed you needed to have Thomas Brown in there. You needed to have Josh McCown. You need to have this all-star staff to complement Frank Reich. And really, they should just let Frank Reich hire whatever he needed to hire from Indianapolis. I thought Frank Reich was a good coach. I think dealing with Jim Irsay and the David Tepper back-to-back.
Yeah, man, that's a lot.
Did it to him.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's
like
a lot.
Rex Ryan. Coach the Jets, coach the Bills, and Bill Belichick just stole his soul several times, and he just went to ESPN.
From Justin on the YouTube comment. So the Panthers are plus, am I reading that right? 16,000? Plus
1,600 to win the division?
No. He says 16,000 to get a rushing TD in every game. Are y'all taking that?
No.
Is it possible?
Wait. So that's, you mean plus like 160 to 1?
Yeah.
Rushing touchdown
in every game.
Every game.
They're not getting a rushing touchdown in every game. Or you're saying because Canales is a good
dude, if you,
it's more of a running.
So you look at what people are doing in fantasy football this year with Rachaad White. They're like, Rachaad White, you saw what he did last year. It's like, no, he was not efficient. Canales' offense is just going to be, and I actually think this can work for the Panthers because you look at Ike Ekwonu on the left side. I hope he's gotten better. I'll root for Ike. He's an incredible player at NC State. But the reality is with his skill set, he's a better downhill run blocker than he is a pass protector. That's been shown very clearly. They improved the offense. Robert Hunt, really nice improvement.
Wonder whose scouting report that was on Icky.
Everybody's. But but yeah, I mean, I think that this team is not going to be efficient at all when it comes to running the football, but they can bludgeon you with running the football. And if the defense is average, then they'll keep you in games, and you just got to try to find a way to win close games with Bryce Young playing a better style of quarterback. And look, last year he had Adam Thielen. Literally, they would run on first down or try like he didn't have any time, and he had no one who could separate. Deontay Johnson gets open. Jonathan Mingo, I think, is being slept on a little bit in terms of having a better second year than people. Dude, he was like the number 2 in that offense. Mm-hmm. Their offense was just, oh crap, it's 3rd and long. Let's run a quick out to Adam Thielen and hope this converts. That was their whole offense. What do you think? You mad about the Mingo take?
Mingo is, I would have cut him already.
If Mingo goes for 700 yards, that's a great season.
I would have cut him already.
Yeah, I was going to say, based on
if he catches 5 passes this year, it'd be a great season.
I think Mingo's a sleeper.
The way
deep,
he is asleep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
his hands are sleeping.
Wait till the auction drafts, Joe.
Did you have an auction draft?
Yeah, we got an auction draft coming up on September 4th. So that'll be fun.
Who's
Tyreek Hill?
I didn't hear you say Leggett.
Leggett? Xavier Leggett?
Yeah.
I like Leggett. Yeah, you got Leggett, you got Thielen, you got Deontay Johnson, Jonathan Mingo. I'm just saying you got some weapons there. It's just night and day different. Yeah. You had 2 pieces of the offensive line. You get a coach who's going to pound the ball. Jonathan Brooks is a good pass catching back when he comes back. You invested in Miles Sanders, Chuba Hubbard. I mean, they're not great, but they can do some stuff. be on the field and move around and stuff.
Brooks better be electric, right? Like, yeah, that's a weird pick to me.
Well, they screwed up because they traded back with the Rams, because the Rams wanted Jared Verse. They drafted Jared Verse, and they wanted, who's the former Florida State interior guy, Mentor. He's the DT. I'll look it up. But they wanted to get the Florida State combo. So the Panthers trade back. It's a great trade back, and then they move back up to get a running back and give up a premium pick, which is
and he had an injury history, and he's not going to be available for the first 4 weeks of the season. Or at least
I mean, he can come in and be electric, but that's what he needs to be.
That's what he has to be.
This is not a Chuba Hubbard. Let's ground this thing out. Fisk.
Yeah. So, okay. All right, you ready to play?
Is this a lightning round, or is it?
No, it's not a lightning round.
Too long to be a lightning
round. Way too long for a lightning round.
My meter already expired. I don't know.
Already?
What did you pay? Did you not pay the 2 hours?
Did you not pay the full 2 hours?
No, I think I did like an hour.
Where you got money for the 2 hours?
That's heavy.
Daddy just made $2.
Yeah, let's get turn that around on DraftKings. Watch what happens.
I put a Millie Dinger parlay.
So Will texted me earlier, like, well, what are we talking about today? I'm like, why do you think I even know what we're talking about today?
It's like all 32
teams.
And
I messed with him, and I just said we're doing all 32 teams. So I thought, you know what? Yeah, let's actually go all 32 teams.
Works for me.
We're gonna play the game. First thing that comes to mind when I give you this NFL team, we're gonna do all 32.
Are we gonna do win totals?
Because if you want to throw in a win total, by all means.
I just want to point out that I have in front of me a proprietary algorithm known as the Brinson model, has trademark. And in it, I have a record for all 32 NFL teams.
All right.
I'll tell you what, we'll play whatever game you want. At the end, I'll give you the Brinson model record for that team.
All right, let's go ahead and start.
I like that.
Let's go ahead and start in the NFC South, since we were talking about the Carolina Panthers. And we're just going to say the first thing that comes to mind with the Carolina Panthers is, Joe.
Mine?
Yeah, first thing that comes to mind when I say Carolina Panthers.
Dave Canales is crazy handsome. Crazy. What a good looking man.
He is crazy handsome.
My gosh.
Okay.
Seriously.
Well, what's the first thing that comes to mind when I say Carolina Panthers?
Like it being that handsome, how far in life it can get you.
It can. No, yeah, that's true. Something I can't relate
to. I would say looking for hope.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. The first thing that comes to mind with the Carolina Panthers is, when will David Tepper ... I mean, it's really, when's he going to be an ass? When are we going to get the deep dive story midway through the season?
Shoe drop.
Right. When is he not happy with what he sees and he starts to meddle?
Yeah.
When's he going to show Josh Norris's breakdowns at Underdog Fantasy to Dave Canales? Like, I saw Josh Norris tweet this about Bryce Young's footwork. What are we doing here, Dave?
How are we going to fix this?
How are we going to fix this? Josh Norris, North Carolina guy.
I know he's a North Carolina Black and Blue Review alum. So, all right, what's the win total for the Panthers?
5.5.
5.5.
I got DraftKings up here.
Yeah,
okay. I got a little bit of help there.
No. I use DraftKings for these, but I did it like a week and a half ago. So the juice may have moved a little bit, but I doubt the numbers.
You know what?
I've been going over by a half a game, despite starting 0-5.
You know what?
That would be so tough.
I know DraftKings starts back up next week, but you know what? Screw it. Freebie it. Yeah, folks, DraftKings is back next week, so we just go ahead and if we're going to go do this, we might as well go full on OG gambling syndicate while we go through these win totals. All right, the rest of the NFC South, real quick. Saints, Joe. First thing that comes to mind.
The bounty. Still the bounty.
He's in Denver.
Still the bounty.
You know what? You're right. I still think Taysom Hill ripping people off. That's what I still think about.
Have you seen this stuff with Taysom Hill?
Yes.
They're like, this guy might play linebacker. He might be like get like 60% of our rushes.
One of the greatest cons Sean Payton ever pulled off was to get Mike Florio of ProFootballTalk.com to write about how, they view him as a franchise quarterback. Really? What's the win total on the Saints?
Saints are 7.5.
So I am very bearish on the Saints and have been. I have as anyone who's followed my work knows, a lifelong beef and feud with the entire Carr family. I am blocked by Derek Carr, David Carr, and even Darren Carr. Which
what? Who is Darren?
He's the third Carr brother. He coaches high school football, and he too has blocked me. David Carr, and true devotees of the internet will know that I ran a site called MrMittens.com back in the day when David Carr took over for an injured Jake Delhomme. He had those dainty little gloves, and it was just a Panthers blog.
Yep.
Back in the halcyon days of the internet. But
shout out to Brinson.
David Carr, yeah, shout out Brinson. David Carr attempted when I posted a clip of Derek dirting a ball like on 4th and something, and David got so mad he like quote tweeted. He was like, "You have no idea what the play call was," and then like tried to tag at CBS and ended up tagging CBS. It ended up tagging like CSI or something like some like television show. But so yeah, I'm bearish on them. The one thing that comes to mind for me is Keandre Miller.
Okay.
Have you seen Dennis Allen's quotes?
No.
I've never seen anything like this in my life. It is out. They're like, so just to follow up, Dennis, on Keandre's like status for season, he goes, well, you know, and this is 2 weeks after he said, you got to be healthy if you want to get on the field. He goes, I'd love to evaluate the kid too. But he's like, as far as I know, the only thing I've seen is his college tape because he can't get on the field. He's just bludgeoning this guy. And I think it speaks to the fact that Dennis Allen and Derek Carr, who, by the way, people are like, oh, they were in Oakland together. It's like they didn't win one game together. I think his seat is really, really hot. And if they come out cold, you could see it explode. The offensive line is a disaster there. I have them going. But
what do you have?
I have the Brinson model cranked out a robust
5 and 12.
I can't 6 and 11.
6 and 11.
Yeah.
You don't know about Will Brinson's
that was awesome.
Grinding internet blog days?
No, that was awesome.
Awesome fan house, Mr. Mittens.
Well, Mr. Mittens is nice.
Mr. Mittens is great.
This man was out in the contact fields.
I need a Mr. Mittens throwback.
Yeah. Oh man, I almost cuss.
Yes, you can.
Shit, I might make a Mr. Mittens shirt. That
you
would be.
Should.
And like the header on the whole site was like him pointing out a first down with like one of those little gloves.
It
on.
was.
So good.
It was. All right, man. We're way behind here. We got to hit the break.
Got 32 teams.
We got 32 teams to get to.
About? We got a lot to get to.
And you know, we have a hard break on the podcast. No, we don't. The Buccaneers. What's their win total?
DraftKings does not have this in any order at all.
It's
just
really,
so you know.
It's really annoying. You have to just control F Buccaneers.
Buccaneers. Here we go. 7.5.
I got them going 9 and 8.
Okay.
The big drum beat out of Tampa Bay or out of the national thing is like, oh, they lost Dave Canales. What are they going to do? It's like they hired Liam Cohen, who Baker Mayfield worked with, and who said he's going to move Chris Godwin back into the slot, which is where Chris Godwin will be much better. Everyone's giving credit to Dave Canales for Baker's year and Mike Evans' year. Let's settle down.
Do you know what I'm learning in this whole hangout right now? You're really not sold on Dave Canales.
I mean, people were like, he gave Gino, like he sprinkled his quarterback powder on Geno Smith.
Okay.
It's like he was the quarterback's coach. That's great.
All right.
He won the OC.
The Atlanta Falcons, the only thing that comes to mind with the Atlanta Falcons is Kirk Cousins in Atlanta playing Creed. How's that going to play? Is Atlanta ready for the Creed-a-sons? I'm not so sure.
No.
I'm not so sure.
Them sitting Michael Penix in week 2 of the preseason was weird. And it makes you wonder just how far along is Kirk Cousins. Is he really ready? Do they think they'll need to use Penix? I will say they backed up the Penix pick by going out and they trade for Matt Judon.
Yeah.
They signed Justin Simmons and then they inked AJ Terrell to a deal. Like they made the defense better after passing on a pass rusher in the draft.
Falcons are at 9.5. They are the favorite to win the South Division.
All right. To my favorite division of all of football, the NFC East, the hot mess express that is the NFC East. We already talked about the Eagles. And
start with the Cowboys because I have them right here.
And the Cowboys are right here. The Cowboys, I feel like we could have an entire conversation about Jerry Jones speed running Cowboys fan lament in the preseason. Usually we're at this point with the Cowboys at about week 8, week 9. I mean, we're at a really low point for Cowboys discourse, all about contract with CeeDee Lamb. And I mean, I've seen some crazy rumors. I think you were the one.
Contract is up. Their coach's contract is up.
Everything's up. It's like, all right, nah, dude, you're going to lose all these guys at this point. Well, but there's a rumor, and this is the one that you had floated to me, Joe, about Jerry Jones possibly selling the Cowboys, that this is all some sort of like, all right, this will be
taking everything off the books.
This is somebody else's problem. I don't buy that.
Jerry's thing is he wants to win a title without Jimmy Johnson's players, and he hadn't been able to do that. Well, I think we all misinterpreted what he said when he said they're all in on 2024. Like, oh, they're going to spend all this. They're going to trade him in the draft. What he meant was everyone here is maybe getting fired if they don't win this year. And I think they let Dak walk. Maybe they let Mike McCarthy. They'll fire. If Mike McCarthy doesn't make the NFC title game, I would guess he's probably getting fired.
Sounds about right.
Bet he wins 11. I've got him going 11-6.
9.5 is their number.
Okay. I'm going to go under on that. The Eagles, again, we went over that. The Giants are the Daniel Jones crap show, which is hilarious to me. And I think it's pretty wild that the Giants have managed to actually be the worst run franchise while sharing a city with the Jets and Aaron Rodgers. But that's another story entirely.
I mean, they do have 2 Super Bowls.
Commanders are going to win this division, right?
Giants are at 6.5.
Yeah. I have the Giants going 6-11. I'll tell you what, man. I mean, if you haven't followed the preseason hype stuff and the training camp videos, Malik Neighbors is the freaking truth.
Okay.
He is unbelievable.
Even with Danny Dimes throwing him the ball?
Danny Dimes is a little bit of a victim of like cherry picking, like, oh, look at this guy. Like, I think the offense will be better than people think.
Is Tommy DeVito still there?
His agent got honored in his hometown for like person of like a lifetime achievement
like
award.
Italian American of the year or something like that.
The Christopher Columbus Award.
Oh, jeez. To the NFC North, we got the Bears. It's all Caleb Williams all the time, which is everybody's all excited about. The Green Bay Packers. Well, wait, what's the win total of the Bears?
With the Bears, I want to point out that there's this conspiracy theory out there on the internet right now that Gerald Everett and Keenan Allen both moved from LA to Chicago and got fat because of deep dish pizza.
I can see that.
Keenan Allen's 230 right now, according to the team.
That would happen to me.
He was 208 when he got drafted.
Bears are at 9.5. People are
I'm under on the Bears. That's too steep for them.
I weighed myself at O2 Fitness yesterday. I'm at 218, man. I am not in game shape right now. I'm hiding it well, though.
Shout out 336, Keenan Allen.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got
Emerson and his guy, Eric Lee.
So what was the win total for the Vikings with JJ McCarthy throwing piss missiles versus what the Vikings are going to be with Sam Darnold?
I think it was 6.5 before. I'm not sure if it's 5.5.
It's 6.5 now. Still.
Yeah. They don't move these they just move the juice, basically.
They move the juice.
Okay. Yeah. I gotcha. I
had them going 7-10. But that was with JJ McCarthy. I actually think
Sam Darnold's their quarterback, sir.
Yeah, dude. Okay, look, Kevin O'Connell is maybe just a genius.
Okay,
he got Josh Dobbs played like an above average NFL quarterback on 3 days.
This is Sam Darnold.
Dude, Sam Darnold's a former number 3 pick. I think there's a little more here than we give him credit for.
Okay,
Jordan Acid suspension maybe kicked to the curb. You got Justin Jefferson.
Are you channeling your inner Keyshawn Johnson right now with this Sam Darnold love? You remember that?
Sam
Darnold went to the Panthers and Keyshawn was
just all over.
Man,
he led
really
the league in rushing touchdowns for 3 weeks. The entire league.
Well,
the Vikings are going to be trash.
I was looking at Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold. I think we ended up finding out the Panthers were more of the problem than it was the quarterbacks. But
I was looking at the week 1 lines in order to fade both the Vikings and the Giants. Yeah, they fucking play each other.
There you go.
I was kind of like, fuck you, Vegas.
Take the under.
Fuck you.
And
Why you gotta do that to me?
Lions gonna continue this thing, or did they have their opportunity lost?
No. The Lions have
the kneecaps are still being chewed, baby.
Lions. Fun fact about the Lions: of their 17 games, 14 are indoors.
That's amazing.
That's perfect
For Jared Goff. That is absolutely perfect. There's hype out there for Aleem McNeil. I mean, we know this around here, but Aleem McNeil talking about like $20 million contract next offseason for him, which would be fantastic. They added the secondary. They might have the most complete roster in the NFL. No joke.
I think I bit off.
Is their number.
I think I bit off more than I could chew by saying we're going to go through all 32 teams. We're not even done with the NFC. All right, Rams. Sean McVay's eyes. What do we think?
Oh, this is my Super Bowl winner, Matt Stafford MVP.
Still?
Oh yeah, baby. I'm a Rams guy. I should have worn my Rams shirt in here, but
not the Niners.
I think the Rams are the division.
Lost the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah, Rams.
Rams are 8.5. That's a great.
So we think absolute like.
So we're thinking the Niners are the Super Bowl hangover. Everything's going to fall apart. Plus, they can't stay healthy.
What's his name's not going to be healthy this year. I hate to say it.
Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
It's the calf injury is a little concerning. Brandon Ayuk's out, Trent Williams in there, and they have a ton of injuries on defense. And their win total, the 49ers, we just combine them right here.
Yeah,
their win total is 11.5.
No,
juice to the under.
Yeah,
and squares across the world are taking the over on that.
And then with the
I think Arizona's better out there.
Arizona's a fun team.
I think they're going to have I think the Niners are going to have a real hard time. And I hate this for McCaffrey because the guy works so hard.
He works his ass off.
He fumbled in the Super Bowl, and that has to be eating him alive.
I mean, Dre Greenlaw, ACL tear, cheering on the sidelines in the Super Bowl.
I'm calling this now. In 10 years, there's going to be a podcast. Maybe he's on with Cam, And he says, man, I never got over that fumble in the Super Bowl, losing the Super Bowl the way that we lost and being in overtime. They gave him that ball on 3rd down in overtime. He couldn't get the first down.
Yeah, Cam regrets not falling on that fumble.
Like, if you're that guy, and I think he is that guy, that shit just eats away at you.
Yeah.
And the only way to do it is to go back and do it again. And we all know.
But you have a lot less control as a running back.
Exactly. I think it's going to be really hard.
On the other two NFC West teams, I can do them real quick. Ryan Grubb, OC for the Seahawks, came from Washington, had Jalen Polk, Rome Odunze,
you mean Washington University,
and Jalen McMillan. Yeah. That's a really close comp for DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and Jackson Smith and Jigba. I think that this Seahawks offense will surprise a lot of people, and I think Seattle's a sleeper to win that division.
Okay. Oh, interesting. All right,
Cardinals, great offense, bad defense.
Over to the AFC. Let's start with the West, where the Denver Broncos are going to topple the Kansas City Chiefs just because of Bo Nix, right?
Just because
of Bo Nix. Joe's pantless this week.
I'm in, baby.
I'm all in on Bo Nix.
He was all in on Bo Nix. He's crapping on Bill Belichick's like, I'll tell you what I'll do with Bo Nix. And here we are on the Bo Nix bandwagon, and they're going to be the ones that knock off finally, after everybody's done everything to position themselves to knock off the Super Bowl champs, going for the three-peat. It's going to be Bo Nix. He was the chosen one, bringing balance to the force. Is that what you're telling me?
No, I think, first of all, I think the Broncos will be over. I think it's 6.5. The
one, might be 5.5.
The one who really topples the chosen one is the nervous bird.
Yeah, okay.
I think Harbaugh comes back. I think Herbert puts it together. I think the Chargers win that
Broncos
division.
is 5.5 over -130. He won 8 games with Russell Wilson last year. And Russell
without him.
Russell
with or without.
Russell's a scared bird. The nervous bird thing's funny. Like the Chargers, the injuries are kind of piling up. The plantar fasciitis that lingers, that worries me a little bit. I will never fade Jim Harbaugh. I think he's one of the best coaches ever. I think 3 of the 4 teams in this division could go over their win total pretty easily.
I think the Chiefs are going to three-peat. I think it's going to happen. I legitimately think it's going to happen.
Oh, my hot take, by the way, I'll give my Chiefs hot take.
Yeah.
What if we're all like, oh, they're just going to come this season, like sort of, what if they just decided, like, say, we're going for a three-peat. Let's just be the 2007 Patriots and burn this entire league down. They added Xavier.
Of course, we saw what happened to that Patriots team, but still.
Right. But they added Xavier Worthy, who is the perfect complement to Travis Kelce and Rashee Rice, because he takes the top off these cover 2 shells and allows Mahomes to do whatever he wants.
I got your take right now for when they go 2007 Patriots, get to the Super Bowl, and lose to the Giants.
It's their villain. It's their villain era, Joe.
You're right. When Taylor Swift drops Reputation, Taylor's version, then I know it's for real. But I know what's going to happen. They're going to get to the Super Bowl. They're going to lose. And Joe can finally say,
I told you.
To the Panthers?
Just needed Tariq.
Yeah.
You would have won that 3rd Super Bowl.
The Tyreek people.
If you didn't have Tyreek Hill.
The Chiefs that year the Chiefs closed +160 to win the AFC West and won it by like Thanksgiving.
Speaking of Tyreek Hill, my favorite sports car, the Miami Dolphins. They should win the AFC East given how things have played out.
They're like the 3rd favorite.
Why? New England's in
their
rebuild
offensive
mode.
line is a disaster.
The Jets are the ones that year.
And the Bills are going to be way better than people think.
I think
he's gonna get fired.
No, yeah. I think the Bills make the Super Bowl.
Woo! Here's where I came around on the Dolphins. Have you seen what Mike McCarthy looks like now? Mike McDaniel looks like now?
Yeah, he looks like he's running yayo down on South Beach.
I said this earlier in the week. The entire city of Miami is built on bricks of cocaine. Clearly, Mike McDaniel got the memo. He's like, well, I'm just going to look like I'm doing Scarface.
The 2 best memes I saw, one, it was like before, like when he got hired to when he is now, it was like, this is what it looks like after you date a Latina woman for 2 years. And then the other one was,
it was
I've
seen it happen.
When Mike McDaniel got hired, he looked like a Best Buy Geek Squad employee. Now he looks like he's a cocaine employee. He runs a cocaine empire in South Beach.
I don't want win totals for the Jets. I want number of games played by Aaron Rodgers. Do we have that? Can I get action on that?
Probably. I think
I'm going to put it 4.
I think it's more than that. They really they improved the offensive line. 2 offensive player of the year candidates in Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson, who are just absolute studs.
Yeah.
I think Breece Hall had 1 carry last year inside the 5-yard line. Do you know how hard that is to do? It's
insane.
Because the offense was so bad. He's going to be a monster this year. I shouldn't be saying this because my league mates who I'm drafting with next week might.
That you're on the clock with right now.
You're on the clock right now?
Okay. No, we're like the 4th round.
All right. Well, that's good. That's good. All right. Over to the AFC North. How did the Baltimore Ravens move on from releasing Lamar Jackson? Oh, wait. No, Lamar Jackson. It's Joe Burrow in the.
I think the Browns take a massive step back. Yes. I think the Steelers are a dumpster. Pittsburgh fans are pissed at me. I had them going 6-11. I have the Browns winning 6 games.
Yeah, do your boy Russell like that? The Russell Wilson redemption tour is not going to happen.
People's reply. Steelers fans were like, "We have Mike Tomlin. We're going to go above 500." It's like that's not. It's not. He doesn't have magic beans.
We are officially on streak watch this year for the Steelers.
The offensive line is a big problem for the Steelers. Russ looks cooked. Justin Fields isn't very good.
Yeah. And the guy who was bad with all of the options in Atlanta is now suddenly going to magically fix.
And Jalen Warren hamstring issue early. If TJ Watt misses any time, this team could pick in the top 5.
And then we'll close on the AFC South, where I guess they're starting to trash on Anthony Richardson. This was the guy that people were like, you called him the lottery ticket. But now people are like, this is it. In the preseason, they're saying this is all you're getting out of Anthony Richardson.
Well, Bengals players were like very loudly
clowning him
during a mixed session. Yes, for throwing to a spot instead of throwing to it with anticipation.
Yes, like this is the guy. This is your king, right? I mean, it really is.
Houston.
I was gonna say Houston and the sophomore. Like, can you do it against CJ Stroud? That's the point of fascination coming out of the South.
I think Houston I don't want to steal this from my boy Drew Densick of NBC's Bet the Edge, but Houston has kind of 2019 Baltimore vibes, where this offensive, everyone came back. They upgraded the defense. Derek Stingley Jr. looks incredible. You add Stephon Diggs, so you have Diggs, Tank Dell, who's just a beast, and Nico Collins. I mean, this offense could be unstoppable. The defense could be excellent as well, and CJ Stroud's like the 3rd favorite to win MVP, which is a bit rich for my blood.
Okay.
Titans sneaky team in that division, by the way.
Will Brinson, CBS. Hey man, thanks for hanging out.
Mayonnaise coffee guy?
Yeah, mayonnaise coffee. Thanks for having me. Yeah, always a pleasure, boys.
We'll do this. We'll do this more often. Now that I'm officially divorced, we can do whatever we want. There's no show divorce that you have to worry about.
Oh, I was like
in the draft. Like, hey, wait, huh? What? No,
all right.
No, not that. Not that. I'm talking about
dropping news on the show.
No.
You want to drop news on the AJ?
Yeah. No. Are you going to kill my camera because you're going to keep podcasting? Right?
Yeah, we're going to keep podcasting. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to hit a transition with music, and then you can get up and leave, and I'll turn your camera off.
I've never done a live podcast before. Cool.
Thanks. All right. Yeah, but I also need you to leave.
I was waiting for you to tell me.
No, you can leave. I killed your camera. Dimitri's waiting. He's got places to be because he's like an Uber for his kids. So like, I totally get it. Chug that High Life.
No, you can't have my cup. So you can bring it back next time. But you didn't drink any of it. Take it. We'll see you again. Man. Podcast festival.
No.
Where do you think we are?
No.
You can have it.
Just take the cup. Yes. Just take the cup, man.
Leave it open.
Leave it open and Dimitri's coming in. Okay. Let's do some housekeeping, shall we?
Housekeeping.
Feel like when Dimitri sits down, it's going to be one big housekeeping as we got the podcast festival coming up on Saturday. But Joe, next week we will be OG Live, Sleek Fleet at Longleaf.
Yeah. It's Thursday.
We got 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock next week?
1 p because it's the pre-tailgate. You got State Western Carolina, and then the big Carolina Minnesota game is that night too. So hey, maybe you're going out to Carter Finley. Maybe you want to bring out some food. You can do that. Or maybe you're going to be at home watching the Tar Heels. Well, order some food from our friends at Longleaf.
Do you want me to show up to that? I can technically be there. I'm not leaving for Hershey until the kids get out of school.
No, I think it's good. I got our guy, the Perm, is going to be there, so he'll be in his element at Longleaf.
Certainly will be, yes.
And then I think Dane is going to help me out with some socials. And some other stuff. So
you know what? Maybe I'll just linger in the background
and do what I do normally at Longleaf.
Piggyback shot. And go from there.
Perfect.
Have a salad.
Yeah, you can do that too.
At Longleaf. So yeah, go check out Longleaf. You can go online to longleafswine.com and you can order online, get your tailgate stuff and everything else. I failed to mention as we're live here and we're switching people in and out. Housekeeping is brought to you by Enovana.
If you have mess inside your mansion or trash in your cabana, get it clean with Enovana.
Bling. Let's thank some of our other corporate champions. Yes, we are experiencing false fall. You've lived in North Carolina long enough to know that false fall will last a few days, and we're back to the scorching hot temperatures, and the bugs will be active. You know what you do? You contact bugsbite.com. Mosquito Authority and Pest Authority can take care of that for you. Speaking of tailgating, you want the meats, right? You want to make sure you are tailgating properly. You need all the gear. You need the right stuff to smoke. You need the right kind of charcoal. You need the right kind of spices to rub the things down. Rub that meat down with the spices, folks. Go to Butcher's Markets, thebutchersmarkets.com, locations across the triangle.
I talked to Debbie out today.
Yeah.
About our podcast festival Saturday. Get your tickets, therialto.com.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, of all of our corporate champions, like I want to get you something.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh yeah, the Butcher's Market.
She wants Butcher's Market.
I said, okay, I got you.
She doesn't want 2 roosters?
I got you.
She want 2 roosters too?
I mean, Debbie's loyal to the brand now. Don't forget.
Because I mean, two roosters has definitely embraced the wolf.
They have.
So I'm just saying.
They have. They're at the arena.
And maybe Debbie wants some 2 roosters too.
Oh, I got an interesting text yesterday.
From?
Not Debbie, but someone who said, hey, I was over at the arena.
Yeah.
And remember we had a conversation with Doug Wharf?
Yeah.
That I had forgotten what year it was?
Sure.
And how the naming rights were up?
Yeah.
Somebody said, hey, just so you know, the PNC stuff was down.
Oh.
And there was an empty blank in front of center. So they must be showcasing it to different brands to say,
it's not us.
This is what it would look like.
We can't afford the naming rights. It's not going to be OG Media.
Not the OG Media Center?
No, it's not going to be the OG Media Center. This is the OG Media Center. All 10 by 10 and egg crates that I got on Amazon on a flash sale. Check out tworoosters.com. They've got the secret pint of the month club. Joe is about to buy a gallon of the peanut butter cookie to put in the freezer.
Yes. I need to buy a freezer first, but it's that good that I will be doing that.
Let's absolutely do that. So we appreciate them being a corporate champion. Let's continue some of that housekeeping, shall we? It really does calm you down. What up, Dimitri?
What's up, boys?
No. Let's try this again.
Oh, sorry.
Hey, Dimitri.
Oh, hi, everybody.
There we go. Come on. Do your
Sorry.
Make me a balloon clown animal. Or, I'm sorry. Make me a balloon animal clown.
I don't want to swoop in and big time you guys, but the Sports Podcast Festival is doing very well. It might be the Sports Podcast Festival Center.
That's fair. So, we have a schedule.
We do.
I know people have been. I thought we've been good about telling people it starts at 6 o'clock.
All right, look, I don't want to be a dick, so I'm not going to name.
I'm sorry, but you're Dimitri. Of course, you're a dick.
Right?
Come on now.
I don't want to be a dick, so I'm not going to name the dude, John. But but I think that if at this point you don't know that it starts at 6, that's a you problem.
I thought we've been pretty up. I know there was a placeholder.
There was a placeholder time because
back in May,
right? Because Hayes and I didn't know exactly what time to start, and E-Tix wouldn't put it on if we didn't give him the time.
That's also Hayes. He doesn't really operate on normal time. He operates on Hayes time.
Right. He didn't understand that people might not want to spend 10 hours at the Rialto on Saturday.
You think Cuban people time's messed up?
Right.
Nah.
Right. So 6 o'clock we start. 5 o'clock doors open. So come, buy your stuff, get comfortable.
Watch Joe drink.
It's in play. 6 o'clock, just a quick welcome, and then you boys are on stage 10 minutes later.
Okay.
And we're rolling, baby.
So do I need to bring the Roadcaster? What are we doing here? I look,
okay.
You understand. Joe knows this about me. I think you know this about me. When it comes to those kind of things, I tend to be a little bit of a control freak.
Yeah.
And it's I think this is growth that I've very much been like, y'all just tell me what I need to do.
So here's the thing, Joe. I'm going to tell you, yes, bring the Roadcaster.
Okay.
Because Hayes assures me you don't have to bring the Roadcaster.
Which tells me we need to bring the Roadcaster.
Here's the thing, Joe. Here's the thing. Hayes scheduled a touch base like, hey, let's just make sure we're on the same page in this last week on Tuesday.
Sure.
And on Tuesday, go to call Hayes, and literally as I'm typing in the number, I get a text, hey, decided to go on vacation.
So Hayes, man. That is so Hayes. So I should bring the Roadcaster.
Bring the Roadcaster. I think we're fine, but bring it just in case we're not fine. No, mics are covered. Mics are covered.
All right. Well, I'll bring the Roadcaster.
Just bring the bag.
Here's the thing about Hayes and the Rialto. Thank God for Jade. if you have never met Jade, who runs the Rialto, because
This
Jade,
is the Harvard grad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she does not fuck around.
Yeah.
She's not here for a bouts. She's not here for I haven't figured that out yet.
Okay.
Like,
Look once again at the risk of slandering our friend Trip Tracy.
Sure.
Like, there's only so many Trip Tracys who got into Harvard. Okay, the rest of them. They walk through the front door.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, so when he told us about her, I was like, "Oh, geez,
Yeah,
you are not screwing
yeah.
around."
At one point, I said, I can't remember what we were talking about specifically, but I said, "Oh, yeah, I haven't figured that out yet. I got to think about it." And she said, "Well, we got time right now." So,
Cool.
All right.
All right. I'll bring the roadcaster for that. And Hayes, love you, mean it. So 6 o'clock or 6:10, we're going on stage. We're going to be talking to Debbie out for a little bit. Still working on a special message specifically for Giglio.
Yes.
Well, hopefully that actually plays out.
Yep.
I don't think this person will be able to show up, but we might have a video message.
There is a ticket set aside for this person if they change their mind.
Totally understand that. So hopefully our special guest is available. Kind of busy this week, but we'll see.
Well-known politician, Mike Nifong.
Wait, is he still with us?
Oh, is he not?
And I think he's gone.
I think he's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
Like
he
from Earth?
yeah, I
Or
think he
from-
shuffled off this
Oh,
mortal coil.
Yeah.
So Mike Nifong, unless I break out the Ouija board, will not be joining us. So anyway, so
That
Debbie
would be
House-
to vex Aaron Beard, not to vex me, though.
Oh, yo, Aaron was like, "Arr." So we'll have Debbie, kind of you're the wolf.
Debbie's doing like some serious homework, by the way.
I know Debbie.
Nice.
I
Oh my
think-
gosh.
Yeah, Debbie's going to take this really seriously, which is great. That's Debbie. But I think it's appropriate for Debbie in this particular case, how 2024 has been the year of the wolf pack.
Yeah.
She has her fingerprints all over it. So I think Debbie kind of deserves some flowers for what's been going on.
By the way, I love that you guys are just blasting the Shutdown full cast with like what it's like to live NC State life, like up close and personal.
Yeah, here it
when
is.
they're-
Here's Debbie. That's exactly what it is. We'll do. When you're full of shit, Giglio. We actually are going to have prizes you want for a live contest like this. So we're going to give out some handles of bourbon at this event, and then Hand in the Dirt is going to come on after us, and
Hand in
then
the-
the Shutdown full cast.
Yep. And between everybody, so between Ovies and Giglio, Hand in the Dirt, and then between Hand in the Dirt and Shutdown full cast, we're going to take like a strong 30-minute break in between. And that is because if you have not been to the Rialto, there's not a lot of room to sell stuff up front.
Is there
in the
food, by
lobby?
the way?
There is food. The breeze through the
That's
food
right.
truck is
Food
going
truck.
to be
Oh,
out
City
front.
Grill's going to be in the house.
Yes.
Yeah, because that's what it was. I forgot who said to me 6 o'clock. What about dinner? I'm like, I'm pretty sure food's going to be there. If I remember correctly, Oak City Food Truck.
Oak City Food Truck.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
In fact, I got off the phone with them right before I drove down here to talk to y'all.
Fantastic.
Yeah, Oak City Food Truck. They will be open and serving, I believe, a little bit before 5, like because they're going to be right out in front of the Rialto, and they don't want to create any more of a line
Gotcha.
than they have to. So they will be up and running. But between the shows, we're going to do 30 minutes, a little bit of break, so that you can buy your home field hoodie, you can buy your various show merch. But I'm not going to be an asshole, right? If you are not interested in Ovies and Giglio and you want to walk out and get something from the food truck, I'm not going to tell you can't come back in until they're done.
I don't know how I'm going to handle that.
Just don't look.
It's like, I thought you guys were here. Oh, you were here for Shutdown Full Cast,
Right.
aren't you? Oh, damn.
You're going to
Okay,
have a lot of
fine.
people coming in sun hats and overalls, and they're just there for Hand in the Dirt.
I know. I mean, heck, I want to make sure we're done with what we're doing so I can watch Felder be Felder.
Sure.
That's what it's all about. All right. So I know Hayes and the Rialto, all jokes aside with Hayes, they got some stuff coming up at the Rialto this week to kind of coincide with the Sports Podcast Festival. They're showing the program.
Yep.
Tonight and tomorrow.
Yep.
And then we've got Georgia Tech, Florida State, week 0 action. Is that going to be on at the Rialto, or are we going to just be lingering
It's
around?
too early in the day. No.
Probably too early in the day.
Yeah,
right?
way too early because
Fine, I'll be next door at Max Speed Shop.
right, Max Speed Shop is the place to go to watch that.
Okay. Gotcha. That makes sense.
And that's a suggestion. That's not a
Oh no, we're just freebie for them. Who
Yeah.
cares? Anything else?
I got your official home field hoodies here for the show.
Oh, word.
And if you would show the fine folks at home, this is the design you can only get
I'm so excited
by
about
attending the
this.
Sports Podcast Fest.
I'm so excited about this because I need more home field hoodies in my life because they're incredibly comfortable.
Listen,
and that looks good. Anna did a good job with this.
I've got a box. I've got 6 boxes of these things sitting in the foyer of my home. And even on the day that these 6 boxes show up, I still was online for home field to buy their Vamos Aggies shirt with the in New Mexico State
Yeah, that's
collection
good.
went on sale.
That's good. I like that. Yeah, this is my large. This is the super comfy one.
It is.
This will be spending a lot of time in the hockey rink while I'm team
Yes.
managing this bad boy. So I'm
Garner.
excited about that. We also have access to hats too.
I saw the new hats. They look good.
Yeah, they do look good.
Hey,
They do
girl.
look good. After
They
party.
look good.
After party. So as soon as the full cast folks are done, we're just going to say thank you to everybody. And then the Rialto turns into a bar, courtesy of the fine folks at Homefield. And we're in there until midnight.
Okay. And then you and Lauren are going to be doing some sort of song and dance?
I mean,
little Abbott and Costello?
So I'll be, Lauren and I are going to be doing the intros for everything. I have heard that Lauren is significantly involved in the Shutdown full cast on this show.
Oh, is she?
She is.
Okay. Okay.
So she will probably spend more time on stage with the individual shows than I will.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll be your MC throughout the evening. I'll be doing the whole, welcome you on stage, and then we do the quick bro hug to pretend like we've known each other all our lives.
Dap you up and go from there.
Can we do a morning segment, a tell me something good segment? And
do you want me to tell me something
Dimitri
good?
binder?
Do we have a binder of radio bits?
So by the time you got back to me, I was already on the way down here. I can give you a celebrity war story if you would like.
A celebrity war story.
So I thought about this one feels appropriate because just a couple of a couple of weeks ago, the news came out that Aerosmith is done, that Steven Tyler has to retire from singing. Did you see that?
Yes, I did see that.
That his vocal cords are so damaged. Do you boys, have I told you boys the story of Steven Tyler and Salt getting into a long discussion about where to find the best scarves to go on a microphone?
So Salt is your former 96 Rock morning show co-host from back in the day. Salt and Dimitri.
Yes.
Salt was the zany one of the crew?
Salt, I was married. Salt was young. No, he wasn't. He was old. Salt was the one who was out every night hanging out.
Okay.
I would argue I was the zany one of the crew.
Okay.
But
he was Dimitri the Greek.
Right.
Hey, let me spray some Windex on it. Like that kind of thing.
Do you know that name? Like my boss just said, like literally 5 seconds before he opened a microphone. Hey, you cool with being Dimitri the Greek? And I didn't have time to say no.
Hey man, Solarte called me Latino Heat at some point in time. First thing.
Very good.
It is what it is. R.I.P. the actual Latino Heat.
So
anyway.
I will be honest with you that Aerosmith is probably my least favorite band. Like, I don't think anything they've ever done is good.
Love in an elevator?
No. I mean, remember though, dude, like I worked in classic rock radio for 20 years. There's nothing at this point.
But I think at this point you would hate Led Zeppelin more than anything else.
No, I love Led Zeppelin.
But because you're breaking ground by playing a Heartbreaker and Live and Love and Made back to back as intended?
No, because those songs are good.
Okay.
Whereas Aerosmith songs are not good.
You didn't go Bob the Blade on your last shift by playing The Doors The End or when the music's over. Just walk out with a 10-minute song.
Another time I'll tell you about when Bob the Blade and I had to be physically separated over an argument about the Who's halftime show.
Oh, for real?
For real. Fuck it. Let's tell that one.
Give me a Bob the Blade story. It's Steven Tyler, man. I feel bad for Steven Tyler. Now I want actual radio beef.
Yeah. So look, Blade and I didn't not like each other, but like when we were working together, I was 28 and he was 50, and like,
I get this.
I get this. There wasn't. And look, I was professionally jealous of how much he got treated like the pretty kid, and I did not. Right?
Hey, dude, I understand.
So the morning after, who played in that Super Bowl? The Who played the halftime show. Was that Cult Saints?
Yeah, you got to make me look.
All right. Well, anyway, so Bob the Blade's whole brand was huge Who fan, right? And the next morning, I had just come in and on the air said, "Hey, that was kind of embarrassing."
Saints,
right?
Colts.
Okay. Yeah. I said, "Hey, that was kind of embarrassing, right? Like, you see, Pete Townsend. You see Pete Townsend's like belly when he's doing the big windmill guitar thing.
Yeah.
Robert Daughtry can't hit the high note anymore.
No.
So I just said this on air, and Bob the Blade comes in. Not to.
I forgot the Blade was actually at 96.
I was going to say this is on 96.
This is on 96.
Blade was on
he had moved over from when he got blown out at 106 when 106 flipped.
He got blown. 106 flipped. Didn't he go to like Fayetteville for a hot minute?
I forgot.
I think he had to sit like in Fayetteville for like 6 months or something before he could come over to us.
You mean a non-compete? It was actually enforceable?
That's right.
Weird. Anyway.
So Blade apparently comes into the office that day furious.
Okay.
Because me calling the Who old is calling him old.
Yeah. Okay. That tracks.
All right. That's not really what I was doing. I was just saying the Who was bad. And you like, shouldn't we be over this classic rock halftime show thing?
But there's context there. the reason why the Who was there was because of Justin Timberlake.
Right.
That's
right,
why
exactly.
they went back to being safe, which is funny that Pete Townsend's out there.
Right. Very
We're
fair.
safe now. Whoa, okay.
I mean, to be fair, wasn't the year before? 2 years before it was Prince. I mean,
and that man came out with a phallic guitar.
Yeah, and
in the rain.
And I mean, go read something about Prince. Like he wasn't the best dude.
Blouses.
But anyway, so he comes into the office and tells our boss, like, you've got to do something about this. This will not stand. Like, I'm just not going to do the show if he's going to talk like that.
You get that hairy Greek man out of here.
And to be fair, I was done talking about it after one day. It was like, hey, we all agree this is bad. Okay, moving on.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So the next day,
there's so much relatable here. Anyway,
the next day, we have an all hands meeting, and it's everybody. It's me and Salt. It's Allie Morgan. It's Robin, who works in traffic, who is sort of like the third Mike with Salt and I. It's Blade. It's Foster. It's everybody. And Foster, God love him, because in years past, the time I was furious with him. But as years have passed, I realized, oh, that poor son of a bitch had to deal with Blade every fucking day.
Yeah.
He says that your street cred, and he says this looking right at me, your street cred is not as important as what the listeners like. And so when the Who is playing the halftime show, we cheerlead the Who. And I just said, yeah, but we all, like, everybody that saw it agreed it was bad. Like, are we just lying to people now? And I can't remember what it was that I said that set Blade off. But Blade, looks at me and just in front of everybody goes, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Wow.
And I very calmly said, Blade, respectfully, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So we go back and forth, and finally he yells, wouldn't you be pissed off if I got on the air every day and said Alabama football sucks? And I said, well, Blade, yes, but you can't. And also, I know my last name isn't Dimitri Sabin, and I would be very,
yeah,
I would just let it go.
Sure.
Which clearly and this was what set him off. This is what set him off. Which clearly you cannot do.
Yeah.
To which then Blade stands up and says, fuck you. And I stand up and say, very creatively, I might add, no, fuck you.
Oh, yeah, that'll tell.
The church store called.
And so Salt, who I wouldn't call Salt a badass, but everybody sort of knew, like, if Salt was fed up with something,
then it was
time to stop.
It was
right.
Time, yes.
So Salt stands up, just sort of, hand on the shoulder like a good big brother kind of thing, and goes, Dimitri, fuck you, sit down. And so I said, okay, it's fine. It's fine. And then he tells Blade, and Blade starts to say, like, hey, thanks, Salt, for jumping. Like, you get it. And as soon as he goes, hey, Salt turns around and he goes, Blade, fuck you. Like, we're all here because of you right now.
We have this all hands meeting because you can't get over the Who.
Like he said, he told Blade, he goes, I know that being the afternoon show, you get to roll in here whenever the fuck you want. We've been up since 4:30 in the morning. How did you think this was going to go with Dimitri? And that was the end of it.
There you go. There's a Radio War story.
Yeah.
Blade, I've only met Blade in person once.
I will say, years later, nobody, by the way, neither of us ever said we were sorry to one another.
Of course not.
However, like, it's radio, right? The next day you forget that it happened and you're fine with one another.
I've actually said I'm sorry to Giglio more than I ever did with Gold. I don't think I've ever said I'm sorry to Gold.
I was telling Lauren this when we were working together, her, me, and Mike Maniscalco.
And Gold knows I love him.
Yeah.
Post belated birthday shout out to Gold, but yeah, his birthday yesterday, I think it was.
I was telling
Wasn't the big one, was it?
No, he's not 60 yet.
Okay.
At least I don't think he's 60. But then again, with Gold, he's been 60 for about 30 years.
I've never known him to be a young man.
No, he's always been old.
No, very similar to like you and Joe. Like, I told Lauren that Salt and I fought, like, we were together for 6 years. We fought maybe 3 times. I fought more with Mike in week 1 of all of us working together than I fought with Salt in 6 years. And I love Mike.
Tracks.
Yeah.
That tracks.
Yeah.
That tracks. Maniscalco knows we love him too. All right, man. It's almost here.
Yes. So excited for it.
So what's next?
I'm
kidding.
Are you
kidding.
sure? Because I can tell you.
I'm kidding.
Right now, we're just focused on OG fans.
That's right.
Which,
That's what it's all about.
Yeah. By the way, Giglio, what are we writing about for Tuesday? Just as your editor, I have to check in.
Oh, God.
It's an interesting one.
We do have a
General overview, I'm sure.
We have a mailbag coming out tomorrow. So,
Oh, very good.
so that'll be rolling. All right, man.
Yep. Thank you to all the new Founders Club members, man. Like overwhelmingly, people signed up for that Founders Club.
It's a good deal, man.
It is.
I almost feel like we should have charged more.
Look, you could still sign up for the $7,000 trip to Disney.
Still in play.
That has not been purchased.
It has not been claimed, but it's still out there for everybody.
I had somebody who said they would purchase it if it was Disney World, but again, we are going to Disneyland.
I got to tell you, I was talking about this with my therapist today. Once you go to Disneyland, Disney World's just not the same. You can feel the history in Disneyland.
That's why I want to go back to Disneyland.
Right. You get it. You're cool.
I mean, they're filling up Tom Sawyer Island.
Yeah.
Pour one out.
And again, Giglio is going specifically to hold our balloon so we can ride It's a Small World.
We'll get you ears for the show. We will get you ears. All right, man. Get out of here.
All right, boys.
Big thanks to Whitaker and Hamer for being a corporate champion from the jump on Ovies and Giglio. Check them out, wh.lawyer. Again, that's wh.lawyer. Also, big thanks to Hometown Realty. You can check them out online at myhtr.com. With Hometown Realty, you're going to buy and sell with confidence. And what you know about this area is that there's a lot of new construction. And with new construction, the builders, more often than not, have some kind of incentives. Well, if you want to know about them, best way to get the inside track is through our friends at Hometown Realty. Big thanks to Roback. Big hoodie day today on Ovies and Giglio, as Roback has delivered the smooth hoodie. We giving that thing away?
I still can't decide. I know I need to rep. They have new college deals. So at Notre Dame, Virginia, Auburn, Texas, and SMU. Or at least a handful of the schools that Roback has. NC State is coming. I know this. They're coming. I got to give them a little bit of time. But this hoodie, I can't decide, Joe, if I should rep this or should I give it away at the festival?
Let's give it away at the festival.
On Saturday.
It could be a You're Full of Shit Giglio prize.
Yeah.
Just a thought.
It's going to be hard for me to give it away.
Actually, no, let's not do that because we don't want to cross-pollinate with our
sweatshirts.
Okay,
so perfect.
Let's not do that.
So yeah, I'll be repping it next week then.
All right.
But
that'll
yeah,
be fun.
Go get your own hoodies. I mean, the material is just through the roof. Anything you put on, you're gonna love.
So go to roback.com and you can use that promo code OG20 to save 20% off your order. Again, that's roback.com, RHOBACK.com. Use the promo code OG20 because I can spell. True story. You know, I hit the wrong music because you know what time it is.
Uh-oh.
All right, let's get out of here on some Hey Joe. Let's go through the Ken with a very, very valid point about the OG Fans newsletter. Let him write drunk and edit sober.
There you go.
You know, you can write after the podcast festival while you're drunk.
I'm going to be sober at the podcast.
Entirely possible. Entirely possible. From John, dying to know that drug commercial music cost you for the transitions. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't know what you're talking about.
Sounds familiar, but
it sounds very familiar. Sounds very familiar. From Will, finally somebody tells the truth about Aerosmith. I mean, I find Aerosmith to just be background noise. Like Aerosmith is not a band that I think about, but when their music is on, I go, oh, okay, cool.
I like What It Takes. It's one of my favorite songs.
Okay, fair enough. Let's
Dream On. I mean,
from Paul, Giglio is still fuming at this Xavier Worthy love from earlier in the conversation. Yeah. Oh, Will also chimed in. An 0-5 start will get Tepper's ass full out for sure. No, yes, that is clearly something that's going to be in play. From Peter on the YouTube comments, will there be drinks available during the shows? Yes.
There will be a full bar there at the Rialto.
Yeah, Hayes
has an amazing selection. So.
Yeah, Hayes does not screw around when it comes to things like alcohol options. So all that stuff will be available while we are at the Rialto. Let's go to the YouTube comments from yesterday. A lot of action from Purple Beard. Solid interview with Mike Houston. We had from, what was it, Worked Kilson. Fantastic interview with Ron Shelton. Have you come down from that high?
Mm-mm.
Talking to Ron?
Yeah, that was awesome.
It was good stuff.
Yeah.
From Kenneth, Joe O with a DC Talk reference. Were you thinking about Stephen Curtis Chapman? Yes, that's who I was thinking about. I was thinking about Stephen Curtis Chapman on my list of bands. Throw in some Jars of Clay or the late Rich Mullins, and you're good. Shout out to the After Dark Elite 8 with Brinson and the Hot Mic. Comedy gold. Truly lightning in a bottle. This reminds me of Gene Simmons attempting to wrangle a highly inebriated Ace Frehley, Brinson and a Hot Mic, during a 1979 interview with Tom Snyder. I'm going to have to go look that one up. Michael also appreciating the Mike Houston interview. Make or break season for Mike Houston. So he wasn't going to give you guys anything other than coach speak. ECU was set up for a bounce back year. Hopefully he'll be a little bit more relaxed next time we check in with him mid-season, right?
Yeah, I tried my best. I thought he was good, though. I mean,
yeah, I thought he was good
sometimes
too.
You got to, these guys grip it tight, right?
They do.
And
especially this time of the year.
He's feeling it. I mean, yeah, you got to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but what I was trying to convey there to him, though, was this is a guy who's won it every step of the way.
Yeah.
And I a lot of coaches are at a crossroads, and Mike is one of them, not just in terms of what his record was at ECU, but this idea of what college football has become and can you win? Mike is a guy who has developed talent at all of his different stops. He's a guy who's also gotten a team to play together at all of his different stops. Those are unique challenges now in this era where you're adding guys and hoping they can come in and mesh right away. And that's the challenge that faces Mike Houston and ECU this year. I truly hope he pulls it off because I do think he's an excellent coach.
Over, what else we have here on the YouTube comments? We got, would the OG reach out to Steve Logan? Yeah, I mean, if we can get him off the beach from fishing. I mean, he's not really all that interested in doing much these days. Great interview, but you got to get an interview with Biff Poggi, please. The Charlotte folks are coming out hard for the Biff appearances. And this is the thing that I found interesting. I've seen this more than one place, that Mac Brown is the UNC version of Dick Sheridan. This is from Corey on the YouTube comments. Yeah, I also saw this. I also saw this on Twitter as well. And I'm not quite sure if I agree with that. Toast says you can't go home again. Mac Brown is doing to Tar Heel football exactly what I expected, a sugar high into a crash. But the Dick Sheridan reference is interesting to me. I don't know if I buy that.
Yeah, Dick Sheridan preceded me, but obviously I know a little bit about what he was about. And personality-wise, they could not have been more different. The way that they ran a program, they could not have been more different. Now, if you're saying Dick Sheridan had results, never won a championship, never probably did more than, just kind of get the hopes up, well, okay, I can see some similarities there. But no, two totally different animals in my brain.
That's fair. Over to Twitter, a little corporate champion love. Thanks to Greg. Had to be a corporate champion with Home Field Apparel.
Those boxes are sharp, man. Home Field does a great job with them.
I love the 3 Wolf Moon take that they did. That's a fantastic shirt. I might actually have to get one myself. We had from Ahmed. Somebody is dropping the ball if we can't get Giglio and Ovies to talk to Tim Walls about week 1, Gopher football, UNC football. Folks,
we tried.
Do you not think I've tried? It's a little busy. Totally understand. Not to say that it might not happen in the future. I'm just saying I absolutely tried to make something like this happen. It's just unfortunate that the Democratic National Convention is happening now, which makes it a little bit more difficult once it wraps up and off they go to do all these other things. So it's not like I haven't tried, okay? Who's to say it won't happen? We shall see. Maybe he comes on to brag about the Gophers if they win. Maybe. I don't know. It's just something to keep an eye on. Anyway, before we get out of here, big thanks to Nature's Relief. Go check them out. We're going to be at Nature's Relief in the next couple of weeks. I'm going to make sure that Joe
9/12.
I'm going to make sure that Joe is not sipping on them hippie sips while we do the show and he falls asleep or gets super, super comfortable while we're doing it. If you'd like to get a real great night's sleep, may I suggest you go to Nature's Relief Hemp Store when you're not doing a podcast.
Yes.
Go to naturesreliefhempstore.com, RELEAF hempstore.com. Also, big thanks to Matt Davis. We got Big 12 action on week 0.
Let's go.
Matt Davis 12 action of the week. When you call 919-779-8277, you tell them you love that football conference. Can't get enough Matt Davis 12. And of course, our friends over at Happy and Hale. Joe is going to show up to the Rialto on Saturday with an Almond Brothers and a nice splash with a Colonel in it. Who doesn't want to see
Says
that?
no.
Let's take a break. Let's take a hockey break. Brought to you by Happy and Hale.
So yes, big thanks to Happy and Hale. We were there last week for an OG Live. A lot of fun. The Burger Bowl was fantastic. We highly recommend it.
I got the protein bowl the other day.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that honey habanero was as good as it is.
It's legit stuff, dude. Legit stuff. All right, y'all. Thanks for listening. Thanks for making comments in the YouTube. Thanks for buying, OG fans. We have the 5th mailbag episode in your private feed tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that.